All right, so we're going to talk about dividing fractions. Okay, so dividing fractions. We're going to come across a new vocabulary word. So we're going to be using reciprocal. Reciprocal is when you flip the second fraction in the problem. Not the first one, but the second one, okay? So what does that look like? So we have 3/4. The reciprocal of that is 4/3, all right? When we do that, we're going to be multiplying instead of dividing after that, okay? So the steps, and this is how I wrote it down, the KCF, kind of like KFC. See what I did there? Yeah. All right. So you're going to set up your problem. You're going to flip the second fraction. You're going to multiply, and then you're going to simplify if needed. All right. So, and that's what it says here. So K, keep the first fraction the same. C, change the division sign to a multiplication sign. And F, flip the second fraction. So we have 1/5 divided by 1/3. KCF, now we have 1/5 times 3, well, times a third basically, is equal to 3/5. You're just going to go ahead and multiply like regular. So on the second page that you'll be getting, it's going to have this little diagram of it, and it's the same thing. It's showing the same thing. Step 1, you're going to set up the problem. Step 2, multiply the reciprocal. That's when you flip it. And then step 3, you're going to simplify. Now, you're either going to simplify or you're going to have to convert it into a mixed fraction, which your little cards here tell you how to do. So with the very first one, our start. Step 1, we have 4/5 divided by 3/4. I set up the problem. Number 2, I multiplied by the reciprocal. So I have 4/5 times 4/3. After I flipped it, it was 4/3. Now I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to multiply like regular. So 4 times 4 is 16. 5 times 3 is 15. Can we leave it like that? 16 over 15? You're going to have to convert it into a mixed fraction because your top number is bigger than your bottom number. All right, so we're going to go ahead and do that in step 3. 15 goes into 16. So once 1 times 15 is 15. We're going to go ahead and subtract. We get 1, so we have 1 whole. So 1 and 1/15. All right, so, and then here's your steps down here. All right, now that was for the first one. I did do some problems for the next two. So whenever I did that, I found my 1 and 1/15. I glued it on there. So my next problem is 1/2 or half and 5/6. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to set up my problem. So a half divided by 5/6. I'm going to go to step 2. Step 2 is multiplying by the reciprocal. So I flip the second one. So now I have half times 6/5. So 1 times 6 is 6. 2 times 5 is 10. All right. So 6/10. Can we simplify that? So 2 goes into both 6 and 10. So 2 goes into it. So 2 goes into it how many times? 6 divided by 2 is 3. 10 divided by 2 is 5. So when it's simplified, you have your 3/5. So you're going to look for your 3/5 and you're going to glue that together. Then you are going to go on to the next one. 7/8 and 1/3. Oh. Wait. Okay, I did the wrong one. We're going to do 3/5 and 1/6. And just like all the others, set up your problem. 3/5 divided by 1/6. Step number 2, multiply by the reciprocal. 3/5. The reciprocal, I flipped it, so now I have 6 over 1. 3 times 6 is 18. 5 times 1 is 5. Can we leave it like that? It's going to be a mixed fraction this time. All right, so last time we just simplified. This time we're going to do a mixed fraction, which means that we're going to have to divide it. So we're going to divide our denominator into our numerator. So 5 divided by 18. So 5 goes into 18 3 times, because 3 times 5 is 15, right? Now we're going to subtract. So when we take it away, 8 minus 5 is 3. So we have 3, that's our whole, so 3 and 3/5. That's our answer, okay? So I hope that wasn't more confusing than anything, but that's how you do it. I'll be sending out instructions on how it goes to help you guys understand. Like I said, it might end up by next week that you get it, or at the end of the week, but you'll get it. You'll understand it. So that's how it works. And you're just going to look for the next ones in the line. All right. All right, guys.